Day 2 of our Kentucky Adventure Tour started very much like the first, with a light rain, a little bit of fog, but the only difference was, instead of on these small dirt roads winding through the Daniel Boone National Forest, we were mostly on paved roads all morning, just headed south towards Tennessee. Although the roads of the day were all fairly well paved, at least for the morning, we still found ourselves as the only 3 people out on any of the roads. We were starting to get back into the deep backcountry of Kentucky now. As we continued on through the day, the rain picked up a little bit, and combined with the rain of the previous days, created these fairly long puddles. Now, most of the puddles were fairly firm across the bottom and not very muddy at all. But of course, not being able to see through to how deep they might be, and not being familiar with some of the territory in this area, we took it slow. Another reason that caused us to take it a little bit slower than usual was because the trailer still didn't have any shocks and would continue not to have shocks through the rest of the trip, so it was always interesting to see how it reacted over some of these bumps. As expected, the closer to Tennessee we continued to get, the more rocks we started to see in the trails. They started out as small sections of rock here and there, but eventually the whole trail was more rock than it was mud. Before we got to the rocks, however, there were many places like this one here, where the Jeep would start to slide, not so much because the mud was so slick, but because the trailer would push sideways and want to just follow the ruts since it had no powered wheels. You can see here, even over the light bumps, how much the trailer would sway back and forth without the shocks connected. as steep as we were going downhill with the trailer, when we started to encounter more and more rocks that had been washed away with years and years of running water, we started to be careful about the lines we were picking. Being picky about the lines was not so much about the stability of the Jeep, but again the stability of the trailer. With only 2 wheels and without a pintle hitch on the Jeep, we had to be careful how much of an angle the trailer would sit at. There were many instances where having the 2,000-pound trailer really took a toll on the capability of the Cherokee, even in situations where the obstacles were relatively simple. As we continued to make our way south and started climbing up into some mountain ranges, we began to find that the trails didn't have so much mud and started to become dirt, save for the puddles that were left over from the heavy rainfall. Most of the second day of our trip was just kind of getting some miles under our belt, moving on to the next stage where we would truly find some amazing landscapes. But, of course, looking back, even on this less exciting day, it was so much fun to be able to get out and just enjoy nature in the Jeeps.